About 3 years ago, I redesigned the Guernseys of the 10 WAFL teams. Today, we're going to do it all over again and see if we can come up with anything better. Starting off with Claremont and a simple logo Guernsey, I've tried to avoid traditional Guernsey designs as much as possible in this redesign, so while I know logo jumpers aren't always the most popular, I think this one turned out alright. Up next is East Frio and another use of the logo here with a 2 split of blue and white colours. Again, it's probably not better than their current jumpers, but as an alternate sort of Guernsey, I think it looks pretty good. East Perth is next, and this one is very basic, but I still think it works. I've made the overall jumper black and still kept the black yoke at the top of the Guernsey, but with a blue line to divide the two. Like I said, it's pretty basic, but I think the Giants have shown with their black jumper that sometimes simple and basic can look really good. Up next is Peel Thunder, and this one is a sort of take on Port Adelaide's tri-bolt design. Instead of a bright white center lightning bolt, I've angled it slightly so it's more like a sash and made it a navy blue bolt with a white outline. This just looks more like Peel to me. Overall, I really like this design. It's simple and basic, but it's got a bit more personality to it than their current kits. And if Port aren't going to use the tri-bolt, then someone else should. Next we have Perth, and I feel like the Giants have really started a new trend with this dark logo outline style of Guernseys. For this one, we've still got the classic red sash just barely visible in the background, which I think adds a nice extra layer to this design. Onto South Frio, and this one's a bit different, I guess. I've gone with a darker shade of red and grey instead of white. I think this could work as a clash jumper for South. Their classic jumper is a brighter Guernsey, so a darker jumper like this could contrast quite well. Up next is Subiaco, and this one is actually a redesign of one of their retro jumpers from the late 90s. For this one, I've just simplified the colours, removed the white and navy blue from the original design, and I think that makes the whole design look a lot better and much more modern, because really the actual design itself is pretty cool. Onto the Swans now, and another of these dark outline Guernseys. I've probably overused that trend a bit over my AFL and now WAFL redesign videos, but between the Giants and Frio's Gather Round Guernsey from 2023, I think we'll be seeing it a bit more. The classic swan stripes are still a part of the design though, and again, I think this could work well should the Swans ever need a clash, as simple inverse stripes would probably still be too white. Next we have West Coast, and it's always a challenge coming up with new designs for the Eagles. What I like about this one is that it doesn't use the classic wings. As I said in my AFL Reserves League video, I like the idea of reserves teams having their own identity that's similar but slightly separate to the AFL side, rather than just being a straight copy. Up next is West Perth, and this one is sort of like a mix of Melbourne's Flaming Demon jumper with a bit of West Coast's old tri-panel Eagle Guernsey. The particular shade of red and blue that the Falcons use really shouldn't work together and typically looks pretty ugly unless you separate them with white or another colour, so a darker shade of blue looks a lot better here, and I reckon this design has become one of my favourites from this WAFL set. Let me know whether you liked or hated these designs in the comments as always.